Welcome everybody to this edition, the November edition of the Partner Series. I was out last month. I think Brett hosted in my absence, and I'm sure that everyone's really excited that I'm back. But yeah, so we this will actually be our last one of 2023, and we take December off because most of you do, and we'll come back in January. I know that we'll be reaching out with probably more of like a comprehensive lineup for 24. We finalized our lineup for 24, which we're excited about, and we'll be getting some communication out on that, and continuing to try to do a better job of giving everybody context for the partners that we're going to have on and why we think it's beneficial for you to come and spend 45 minutes with us. Today we've got Brian with Latour de Spice, Brian Scott, and he's coming to us from just outside of Toronto, right?
That's correct. Yep, Kitchener.
And, yeah. So I was telling Brian that I just was in Toronto for 3 days in October, and I wish that I didn't put two and two together. Not that there was very little time while I was there, but I was there as part of what's called CEO Summit, put on by the software platform that we use for our business. And so it was the first time I went to Toronto. Beautiful city, had a great time, ate some great food at some great restaurants, and met some great people. I have found, I mean, almost exclusively my interactions with folks from Canada, they are all just incredibly nice people. But Brian, I appreciate you being here. I'm not gonna take away too much of his thunder, but I will say that going in this, Brian has a lot of background in our industry. He was a distributor for a long time, which he'll talk about. He's now on the supplier side or the partner side, and he takes a much more strategic approach to the things that we do. And that lines up really well, I think, with where we're moving with Goodson. When we started Goodson, I think we were very product focused. We've been talking a lot lately about understanding that our role is to help our customers engage their employees and engage their customers better, and to think more from the standpoint of what does success look like. If I do this product or this clothing item or this online show, whatever it might be, what does success look like? What's the objective? What's the audience? And work back from there. And I think Brian very much takes that approach here, and that's one reason we're excited to bring what he has to you, so that you can see some of the solutions and some of the approaches, and try to think of ways, think of ways that this might solve some of the marketing problems that you have. So, with that, Brian, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll get rolling.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I've been looking forward to this presentation and sharing with you kind of what we do and how we try to add value to the promotional product world. So can everybody see my screen okay? Okay, yep. Excellent. So just a little bit of my background. I was on the distributor front for the majority of my career. So I spent about 35 plus years as a distributor. I founded 3 different distributor companies, which I would grow to about 50, 55 plus employees, doing a decent volume, and then I would sell them. And I just found when they hit a certain size, they kind of lost their entrepreneurial spirit. So I just did it all over again. And then after my wife and I sold our last distributor company about 6 years ago, we were kind of wondering what to do. And I'd always been intrigued by the supplier side in our industry. So both my wife and I come from a endurance sports background that requires us to consume a lot of food to fuel our bodies, and to train hard and to eat a lot of food is difficult to do. So my wife, Cynthia, started to experiment with spice and how we could integrate spice into our diet to make food more palatable, to allow us to, to consume what we needed to. So she's the spice guru on our team. And I, understanding the distributor channel, we thought, wouldn't it be interesting to introduce spice to the promotional product world and use spice as a way to help organizations articulate their brand message and story. So that's what we did. We launched this company about 6 years ago, having a lot of fun doing it, and working with some top distributors like you are, and just having fun doing that. So that's sort of the backstory as to how we got involved in this industry. So we're really we are a spice company, but we're a spice company with a marketing mind. And so we're not so much commodity driven. We're more about messaging and storytelling and those sorts of things. We have thousands of spices. We have blends. We have teas, coffees, soup mixes, popcorn seasonings. We have thousands of different ingredients that we can integrate into some really unique packaging. And the packaging is really where we try to bring your messaging to life. We have an in-house design and writing team, so we can work very closely with you in coming up with some really high creative concepts on how to help you, achieve your different marketing objectives. So, as an example, I show a pen on the left-hand side with a nice two-color imprint, and there's nothing wrong with pens in our medium, and they certainly have their place. But what we try to do is to use the packaging or the product to convey a message or a story. So in the case of Agility Banking, they could hand out a pen, or they could hand out this particular product, and we call this our Power Pack. It measures about 3.5 inches by 4 inches. And inside the packet is an FDA approved little poly bag that we can fill with any one of our thousands of ingredients. This one we happen to fill with a tea called Rooibos tea, called a blueberry bang tea. Very, very flavorful. We source it from South Africa, and we have hundreds of different flavored teas. So Agility really used this piece to tell their story, and they're all about better banking for all. And they wanted to convey that they're founded on the belief of gender equality, diversity, and purposeful growth. And then on the back of the little power pack, we tell a little more of their story and then provide information about what we've included inside it. So when I was a distributor, I would always look for products that had large design.
What do you mean
Yep.
workaround?
I'm sorry?
Think that she just was unmuted. I think you're good.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so when I was a distributor, I'd always look for products that had large design areas, because I always viewed our medium as being an advertising medium, and an opportunity to do more than just put a logo on a product, but to really convey story, integrate good call to actions, QR codes, all those things that make a product really impactful. So this is another example of how we try to tie a product to an objective. So in the case of Synopsys, they're a software company. This particular distributor reached out to us, and they said, they're attending a trade show. They're looking for a handout. What would you recommend? And we sort of took a step back, and we explored, what are they really trying to achieve by exhibiting at this show? And really what it came down to was they were trying to book post trade show meetings to do a deeper dive with their prospective client on how they could service their needs. So we used our Power Pack. We filled it with a rainbow Rooibos tea. And then we had a very strong call to action on the front of it. Book a meeting and receive a free tea stick infuser. We show a little image of what that infuser looks like. But we use the infuser as sort of the carrot to motivate the recipient to, in fact, scan the QR code and book a meeting post show. So they could hand a pen out at a trade show, or they could hand something out that tells their story a little bit, but has that strong call to action and really tries to drive that objective about booking meeting post show. So everything that we try to do, we try to make it based on your specific marketing objective. Here's an example of a piece.
Yeah, I just want to say, first of all, I was going to jump in a second ago, but again, I just want to reinforce, I love the fact that it's, that you're wrapping the package. So we've been talking a lot lately about how the imprint in a lot of instances is as important, if not more important, than the item. And this takes that a step further. And obviously, I think there's a big movement in our industry towards, custom packaging. And then the item that you showed in particular that had the tea. If I'm looking at this, which Brett put in the chat, if you're interested, it looks like it ranges anywhere from about $4.50 to about $3 each. that's in the ballpark for that item, not the infuser itself, but the item that you showed as sort of the giveaway for the event?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. That would be the price point on that particular piece. And everything we do is done digitally, so we can run very small quantities as well. So if you need, 50 pieces of something, fully customized, full color, we can do that. And the power pack is great for special events, trade shows, internal communication. It has a lot of applicable areas that it can be utilized in, and hitting that low price point makes it quite attractive.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Barrett-Jackson car auction, they auction off very high-end classic and vintage automobiles.
By the way, Dad loves these guys.
Yeah, yeah, I do too.
Them and Meekum and a couple others actually. So
yeah, they were looking for just a customer appreciation piece. So all those people attending their auctions, they wanted just sort of a clever, cool handout that would convey their story. So if you went to a Barrett-Jackson auction, the visuals that you see on the front of this particular piece, we call this our promo spice tube, and we package it in this nice sleeve that has a great design area. And these tubes they're about 1 inch in diameter and 6 inches in length. And we can fill them with any of our spices, teas, coffees, you name it, we can fill them. This one we filled with a barbecue rub. We did it in a layered look to kind of give it a artsy, playful look. And then we designed the front of the sleeve with these sort of images that you would see if you went to a Barrett-Jackson auction. And we came up with a theme: classics come in every flavor. Then on the back, we utilize copy. You'll notice that we do a lot of copywriting, and really I've always viewed copy as being the great connector, connecting sort of the brand, to the message. So the copy that we came up for Barrett-Jackson was: car tastes come in many flavors, from vintage classics to collectible muscle cars. Together they create a passion that flavors the automotive lifestyle that our seasoned Barrett-Jackson staff serves, engaging car collectors and enthusiasts around the globe, seasoned by passion. So wherever possible, we try to incorporate some copy to really kind of take that story one step further. NetJets, if you needed to charter a Lear jet this afternoon, this is the company you'd reach out to. And they too were looking for something just to give to their patrons that would tell their story, but also give them a very tasteful type of product. So we knew that they were targeting a higher end clientele. So we used a finishing salt in our promo spice tube, and it's called Fleur de Sel. Any chef around the world would totally connect with Fleur de Sel. It's very high end, and you just add it to your meat, vegetable, and it really makes the food pop. And it's a salt that's actually harvested from the sea off the coast of Brittany, France. So it's a very exclusive spice, and we thought it would connect well with the audience that NetJets was targeting. We use a lot of visuals, and in the case of this piece, just looking at the visual, it really conveys the business that they're in. Here's a long-term care facility, and we came up with a theme celebrating life over disability. Then on the back, tea is a cup of life, and every day is a celebration. And then we talk a little bit about Alon Manor and kind of what they do as far as their rehabilitation and nursing services that they provide. And then we integrated the QR code that takes you right to their website to learn more. So nice little piece, but something they use when they had somebody exploring their services as just a nice promotional piece and a gift. And tea fits well with the audience that they were obviously targeting.
Brian, I feel like this would be a good time to jump in. So if I'm watching this presentation, I'm like, man, these things are really beautifully done, and the copy's really good. And we talked a little bit yesterday when we were making sure that all of our tech was set up right, that copy and writing copy is can be a real challenge when it comes to marketing and doing it well. obviously there's the product pricing and there's a setup, but will you talk really quick about, like, you guys carry a good bit of the water. I mean, if our customers or our team come to you with a marketing problem, hey, we have a particular audience that we're trying to reach with this objective. You guys are stepping up and doing a fair amount of creating these concepts, right? These are not being provided to you.
No, everything that I'll show you here, we've designed 100% from start to finish. And we have the in-house services to do that. Really, all we require is sort of what your objective is, who you're targeting, what the desired outcome looks like, a link to your website. We can very quickly go through a client website and really understand what their brand message is, what their story is, and how best to articulate that on our product. So we do the writing, we do the design. If you have an in-house team that want to do it, that's fine too. But we can do a lot of the heavy lifting, and we don't charge for that. All we ask for is like a real life opportunity that you have a very clear purpose or objective in mind. A budget. And really we need to know budget only from the standpoint of that would allow us then to maybe it's a power pack, or maybe it's a product that might be a higher ticket item that might fit in better to the budget and to what you're trying to achieve. But we can run with this start to finish. So we've got a great team that will come up with a concept for you, and certainly no obligation. We just look for the the opportunity to be able to show what we can do and how we can sort of provide you with an impactful product.
Thanks for joining, Fabio. I don't know if you're able to mute.
I don't think so, Fabio. You can do fair salt roast, something like that.
But yeah, go ahead, Brian. Sorry about that. But anyway, I just want to make sure to punctuate that because I could see people watching this, both those that are on here live and those that will watch this later when we post it, and there could be a bit of a disconnect. But this is literally come to us, and this is really, in a lot of these that we do, we've been offering what we call spec samples lately. That's kind of like if you join live, you get an opportunity to spec sample. In this case, and we'll get to this at the end and reiterate this, but Brian is offering up, hey, come to us with a marketing problem or a marketing challenge that you have, or just an audience that you're trying to reach with an upcoming event or some kind of program, and give us the audience, just give us, a quick summary of what your objective is and website. And we obviously have a lot of the logos that you need, and we'll get that over to them, and they're going to work on creating some concepts that will match, for you, that will match the approaches that you see here.
Yep, well said.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yep. Yeah, I seem to be on a bit of a tea run here, but tea has great relaxational properties, so it fits in to a lot of the messaging that we do. So this particular one for Lara, they provide mental health services. So they were looking for a piece that would tell their story, but also push traffic to their website. So there we utilize the QR code, and then we just came up with the theme: transforming lives one cup at a time. Your mental health matters, so enjoy life sip by sip. And we used our tea in that particular piece. So good, good copy. Very short and sweet, to the point, but it resonated with their brand. Internal communications. Actually, when I was a distributor, that was an area that we did a lot of work within. This particular piece was designed for GE, and they wanted to convey to their employees their mission and purpose. So few nice little shots on the front showing their employee team, and we came up with a theme: together we can change the world one cup at a time. We are united by a single urgent purpose to electrify and decarbonize the planet, and together we have the energy to change the world. So that was a statement from their CEO. And then they go on to speak about their mission. Our mission is clear, and the future is electrifying. If we want our energy future to be different, we must be different. Bring your energy to change the world. you're one of 80,000 passionate individuals that make up our team, and together we are unstoppable. And then the QR code takes them to a video that speaks to the purpose of the organization. So there's a lot of sort of moving pieces on this, but really it was about trying to make sure that their employees were well versed on their purpose and mission. Picture's worth 1,000 words. You'll see that we utilize a lot of good imagery in our design. So this particular organization, King Remodeling, they remodel kitchens. So very visual on the front. It tells the story that they're involved in. This is our micro mill. It's a stainless steel 6-inch mill, and we can fill it, and we often fill it with a combination of Himalayan sea salt and black peppercorns. So when you push the little plunger at the top, it disperses a combination of salt and pepper. And so we have the little tagline incorporated into the copy, like salt and pepper, we're better together. And so that's sort of a fun little metaphor that we leverage with this particular piece. This piece weighs almost a pound. So you pick it up, it's got some serious weight to it. It almost feels medical grade. So it's a very high-end mill. It's something that most people don't have in their home, and certainly not one that disperses both salt and pepper. Price point, it's around a $30 item, laser engraved, filled with the Himalayan and peppercorn, and the full color sleeve that we package it in. So it's a really nice piece. We sell a ton of these, and just a nice all around product.
Dad, you need one of these in your car, man. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been out and about with Dad with those little packets, and they end up everywhere. This would be like just super convenient.
Are people putting other things other than salt and pepper in there? I mean, could you put theoretically cinnamon or something like that, or is it better suited for grinding and dispersing like that?
Yeah, it's really best suited for grinding. So we can put any coarse type of spice in there, but 9 out of 10 times we end up doing a combination of the Himalayan and sea salt, or just the peppercorn and the Himalayan. But yeah, any coarse spice will work quite nicely in that piece. Yeah.
For the nursing home clients, do you happen to have a good source for fiber to put in those?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think fiber. I'm trying to think what spice connects with that.
Yeah.
That actually might be a hit.
Yeah, you've got me thinking on that one. So I'll have to explore that.
He's got me thinking too.
Yeah.
Landon's thinking, I wish Dad had just shut up.
Oh, no.
So this is a piece designed for Cigna Health. Relax, we've got you covered. We use tea once again. And what they were really pushing for was being able to quote out insurance. So we have the QR code that you can scan, and it takes them to their portion of the website that you can upload your information to receive a free quote on their health-related insurance coverages. Another insurance company, they happen to write a lot of policies on bus insurance. So that's sort of their forte. So the theme was take a 15-minute ride to quality school bus insurance. So there again, on the back QR code, you go to that portion of their website where you can upload your specific data to receive your free quote on bus insurance. We use the little T-stick infuser as sort of the gift that they would receive when you upload your data. So nonprofits. So for example, Breast Cancer Awareness Month was in October. So this was a piece that was used just to thank people for their donation. So we came up with an interesting visual on the front of the power pack. But then we also wanted to add some additional value to it and provide information to women on sort of what the steps are in breast cancer screening. So we have a QR code that goes to a site that provides that detailed information.
Brian, did you all design that cover and come up with that visual?
I did not. I was not responsible for that. No, that's what happens when you give this stuff to creative people. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
I will say this. I gotta interject here though. So we have a client. Her company is called Bonnie Knows Breast, and she specializes in working with women on breastfeeding and all the things that they have to deal with when they have kids. And so and so we've done some items with things just like that she uses to promote to her potential customers. So I saw that immediately and I thought Bonnie would love that. She could probably make use of that. So
Yeah, yeah, neat. United Way, they were doing a food drive campaign, and it was sponsored by 3M. So they just wanted to, anybody that made a donation, just as a means of saying, hey, thanks. We used our power pack, we filled it with cinnamon, and then on the back, we'll often incorporate recipes. So if we're giving a spice or a seasoning, it's always nice for the recipient to know what to do with it. So we came up with a recipe on how to use the cinnamon to make a harvest apple pie. So you'll see in some of the examples that we try to incorporate recipes wherever we can. And food in our industry is probably the fastest growing category. Very, very popular. And I think a lot of that had to do with COVID and people spending more time in the home, more time in the kitchen. So cooking became very, very popular in our industry. So just an area to give thought to. Food is very well received within the industry. Here's another nonprofit, so it's a children's hospital, and they were promoting mental health. And we used lemongrass, which has relaxational properties in it. And that's the other unique thing with spices. Every spice has a unique property, and we can often sort of leverage that property with the brand or with the message. This is a fun piece that we have. We call it our smoker kit. So it's a sort of 9-inch by 12-inch box. You see the stainless steel tube, it's 6 inches in length, and you can fill it with these flavored wooden pellets. And you basically fill the tube with the pellet, you put the tube on the grill, ignite the wooden pellets, and it creates that nice smoky flavor that you would get from an actual smoker. So if somebody has a smoker and they don't want to spend 6 hours creating that smoky flavor, just on a regular grill with a smoker tube, it creates a very, very similar flavor. And then we package it with one of our barbecue rubs. It's quite popular. Good design area on the
I
box.
love that package. That's a nice package there. It's
yeah. And I believe this one was used as a dealer incentive or dealer loader. So Snap-on used it. You buy X number of dollars of Snap-on product, you receive the free smoker kit. And then came up with the theme smoking pot performance. So neat little piece, very popular, tying into the whole smoker craze. This is our micro mill that I shared with you earlier. This was used. This one had a kind of an interesting application, in that these two large utility companies were merging, and anytime there's a merger or acquisition that goes on, there's always some level of unrest within the organization. So this organization was having a team building event where they were bringing in management from both organizations, and they were going to allocate a day to doing some sort of strategic type planning. But they wanted to have a nice little handout that would try to convey the message that together we're better. So we used the mill, we filled it with a combination of Himalayan sea salt and peppercorns, and then came up with the theme, the right combination creates a whole new flavor, like salt and pepper or better together. Some things just go together, each bringing different strengths to the table and creating results greater than the sum of their parts. Our new team is about creating a synergy of complementing flavors and fresh ideas that are sure to spice things up and make great things happen. So just trying to convey that message in a tangible, visual way that together, organizations coming together, we're going to be better. Um, if you're ever doing like events at various destinations, we can often find a spice or an ingredient that would be native of that particular region. So, for example, the Log Me In software company, they were having an event in Hawaii. So they used our micro mill as the teaser for this particular event, and we filled it with black Hawaiian sea salt. So, event happening in Hawaii, just made sense to use black Hawaiian sea salt. The Jewels of Arabia piece, this was a teaser piece that went out to sales team members 3 months 3 months prior to them having to achieve their sales quota for the year. If they hit their quota, there was a trip that was taking place to Dubai. So we used spices that were native of the Dubai region, like sumac, baharat, and za'atar. So yeah, if you ever have a trade show or a sales event or a meeting at a destination, we can often find the spice that would be native of that area. Tailgating events. So at Talladega Motor Speedway, they're hosting a tailgating event. So we used a little power pack. We filled it with our barbecue rub, which obviously ties in well to a tailgating event. Came up with the theme, the calm before the wind, because that's when typically a tailgating event happens. And then they used our little smoker kit. We have a smaller version of what I had shown earlier of this particular kit. That just has one bag, the flavored wooden pellets, the tube, and the barbecue rub. And then heading into the holiday season, we do a lot of poultry seasonings, nutmegs, cinnamons, pumpkin spices, all of which can be packaged in a number of different ways. We're a little late for Thanksgiving this year, but we do have a number of holiday related items that I'll share with you in a moment as well. Abbott Laboratories, they wanted to send a thank you to their employees and just wish them a happy Thanksgiving. But we wanted to take it one step further and use this gift as an opportunity to really convey to the employee kind of what some of their core values were all about. So very big on family. So we have a little power pack that was in this nice little gift box that spoke to family. I think that one was filled full of poultry seasoning. Life's possibilities is another value that they hold dear to their heart. And I think that one we used a dark cocoa. Health, obviously they're in the health business. So we tell a bit of a story on the back of that power pack about health. And then obviously they're about technology, life-changing technology. So each little power pack had a ingredient that was related to Thanksgiving. So cinnamon, nutmeg, dark cocoa, poultry seasoning. And then we had a nice micro mill and a tube of seasoning in there as well. So, a product can be a gift and just have a logo on, or, we can always take it one step further and use that product as an opportunity to convey a message. Here's a holiday gift that a dairy handed out to their employees and to their customers. And being that they're in the dairy business, we thought it would be kind of cool, put together a kit that has the ingredients that would be used to make what's called golden milk. And if you've never had golden milk, it's a wonderful drink. You basically heat milk, and you add a little bit of ginger, cinnamon, and pepper to it. And it's just an ultra healthy drink that has nice relaxational properties. But dairy, milk, golden milk, it all kind of fit together. This is a piece we did for the Royal Bank. So the theme was hope, peace, and joy. We used 3 different spices. And then on the inside, we had holiday related recipes on how to use those particular spices. I think we used nutmeg, cinnamon, and dark cocoa. Google, they were looking for a handout for their employees to celebrate Halloween. So we came up with the theme, eat, drink, and be scary. and we filled the little gift box with items and ingredients that were specific to Halloween time. And each little piece had sort of its own little theme, pop in for a spell, boo to you from our crew, happy haunting, and ghostly greetings. So just sort of
Brian,
a
real
fun,
quick, just to orient folks that are seeing these types of kits, I realize they're going to range, but can we give them some idea what the price ranges of the kits we're looking at would be in?
yeah, 25 pieces, you'd be looking at a $35 type of kit here. 100 pieces, sort of in the $30 range. So yeah, roughly in that ballpark, not particularly expensive. But we can add, we can design kits to really hit any price point. So if you don't have a $30 budget, you have a $25 budget, we can create a kit based on that. If you have a $100 budget, we come up with a much more elaborate kit. So we'll often kind of reverse engineer a product based on what your budget is, what you're trying to achieve, who it's going to, and what the overall theme and message is. So we're always creating new and different products just based on what the client need is and client budget happens to be.
But it sounds like, just as a general rule, hey, we're around 25, probably 25 to $50 for the kits that we're seeing here, around 50 pieces ish, just to create
Yep.
some bulk parameters, and then we can kind of plug and play from there. But that gives people some idea of where they're falling.
Yeah, this kit here would hit about the $50 price point for 25, 50 pieces. And this was a piece that we did for GE. They used it as a holiday gift, but what they were actually trying to convey was their global reach. So they have offices throughout the world, and they wanted to convey that they have global reach. So we selected spices that were from all over the world. So we used a Jamaican jerk, we used a poultry, we used a Mediterranean spice, we used a seafood. We used from Canada, we used a maple syrup powder, which is quite interesting. So we just selected 6 spices that were from around the world, sort of plotted those on the map. And on the back of each sleeve, not that you can see it, but on the back, we had recipes on how to use those specific 6 spices that we included in this gift box. Then heading into the holiday season, we have a number of sort of stock holiday gift sets. So the Wigmans on the far left, that was a kit, and we had a recipe featured on the back of the sleeves on how to use these 3 ingredients, the cinnamon, the crushed candy cane, and the nutmeg. We had a recipe on how to make a cinnamon roll cake. So kind of a neat little kit. We could just do a logo drop on it, or we can do something totally custom. The one on the far right was a kit that was designed for making a snowy night hot chocolate. So we used in that kit turbinado sugar, dark cocoa, and crushed candy cane. And we came up with a theme, the official drink of entangling the lights. So it was kind of a fun thematic theme there. So these are still available. Our turnaround time, we can turn orders around in about 7 to 8 working days. So we still have time to address any holiday related needs that you might have. Our little power packs make great holiday cards. So they mail really well. They just go to regular postage. So we have a nice little 3.5 by 5 inch envelope that they can be packed in and mailed out. And there again, we have a number of different stock themes, or we can do something 100% custom. Doesn't cost any more to do custom than to do stock. The advantage of the stock is that it's done, and you can maybe turn it around a little quicker because we don't have the day or two to do the art or design. But if you have the time, we can do custom. Crushed candy cane, very popular, great for rimming a mug, sprinkling it on hot chocolate. We even have popcorn called Jingle Bell Pops that taste like crushed candy cane. And then you can pretty much pick any special event and we can come up with a concept for you. So the image on the far left, healthy is the new hot, that was used during Men's Health Week. And we used a cayenne pepper, which has a number of health-related benefits, great antioxidants. It's great for digestion. There's a long list of benefits with cayenne pepper. The Pride piece was used by a credit union that was sponsoring a Pride parade. So we came up with a nice theme there, and we filled that particular power pack with our rainbow rooibos tea, which kind of fit into the theme there. Popcorn seasonings. We have a long list of some really interesting seasonings, everything from your standard all dressed popcorn seasoning to we have beer can chicken, we have Montreal steak popcorn seasoning. Long list of popcorn seasonings, but just kind of a fun piece to tie into a promotion. Allstate used the power pack. Post-COVID, people starting to, we were trying to encourage people to come back into the office and drop in for a cup of coffee and discuss their insurance needs. So we filled this particular power pack with a coffee and a nice call to action to, enjoy a cup at home and another with us, implying, drop into our office and let's talk. So that's just a sort of a quick overview of kind of who we are, what we do, but really what my goal being a supplier is just to try to add more value and a better result to your promotional product spend. And I believe we can do that by being creative, integrating good call to action, telling your brand message and story, just trying to connect with people sort of at an emotional level. So that's my story.
Yeah, that's great. Brian, we appreciate it. And I know everybody, we went over a couple of minutes, but I felt like it was well worth it just to see all the examples of the different concepts that these guys have created. I know that I want to get you moving. So I want to just take a second. Does anybody have any questions? I know there was a couple in the chat. Please unmute, ask questions, make comments if you have them. And I just want to say that like our hope is that each person that's joined us today will follow up. We'd love to, and you can see on screen here kind of the general information that Brian and his team will be looking for to create a concept for you that they're more than willing to do. And obviously samples of the product, and we can do that as well, as you're aware. And then, as he mentioned, there is still time to get things done. It's tight. We would need to move quickly, but we can still get things done for the holiday season if that's something that you'd like to do. So, Brett, do you have anything you want to add, or Dad?
I have a couple questions. And I hope I didn't just miss it. And these aren't silly questions, but you're manufacturing in Canada, right? So does that affect things shipping into the United States as far as pricing or?
No, so we ship everything FOB Buffalo. So we have shipments every day that go into Buffalo. Then from Buffalo, we disperse out to the different destinations throughout the U.S. So yeah, we've been doing this for 5 years. We comply with all the FDA requirements. Our facility here in Canada is FDA approved and registered, and we have all the documentation in place to make sure that when we're shipping over the border, it's totally pain-free, and I'll be totally transparent to you and your customers. So never had an issue, knock on wood. But yeah, we ship every day into the U.S.
Do you it seems like that product might lend itself well to doing like a mass mailing. You ever do anything like that, or get asked to do it, equipped to do it?
We're not really equipped to do like a lot of drop ships or mass mailings, but we do work with some fulfillment companies that can certainly orchestrate that on your behalf if you have that need.
And I would say that we have partners that can orchestrate that on behalf of our customers. So as you pointed out, the Power Pack, I think if I'm using the right terminology, is can be USPS, can be sent postal. And
Correct.
so we could bring the order in and facilitate getting that out on behalf of anybody on the call and anybody who listens in the future.
Yeah, that could be pretty powerful. The only other thing was, do you ever get asked to do something that has scented contents as opposed to herbal? Just wondering if that was any kind of a,
Yeah, like sort of a scratch and sniff type concept, or
well, no, just more of almost like what do they call like those packages?
like the
Like a
diffusers.
sachet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah,
Potpourri
just,
kind of
just
thing.
that's something that people would take and put in a room or in their car that would have a
Right.
really nice, give the room or the car a really nice smell. I could see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, we can do like a potpourri. We just find a unique way to package it. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, so
Yeah.
anything that's non-liquid, we can work with. So something like a potpourri, and we could find a unique way to package that and do exactly what you're
That is kind
suggesting.
of an interesting question, because, and I have to say that I'm so impressed that Justin knew what that was. But there's those like scented packs that my wife buys from. It's called Kirkland's. It's a store here in town. I think they're in other places too. And she buys them and puts them in her car and stuff. So that is kind of an interesting play,
I think
and
it'd be huge.
would be worth pursuing.
Yeah.
And there's, I don't, this is, to be completely candid, this would not be an easy sell to my clients, but if you could get it across, I think they'd be pleasantly surprised by how it works.
Hmm.
Brett, do you have anything you want to add? Because I know we're kind of long on time, so I want to get everybody out of here.
No, not necessarily. I think you did great. I think it was today's presentation was obviously very example driven, and it's just unique to see how spices can sort of transcend mediums across multiple different industries. And historically we've kind of linked out a bunch of different products as we've gone through things, and I tried to throw some different product ideas and things like that in there so people can kind of get a general idea of pricing and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's spices, and how do you work backwards to make a specific spice kind of work to help build your brand, which is what Goodson is all about. And so that's one of the reasons why we got so excited about bringing Latour de Spice on, was because it's just such a unique way to, I guess, allow for our clients to kind of like put their brand out there in a different way that maybe their competitors may not be doing, or just some fun and really cool ways. So I really do appreciate all the different examples that were in there. And then the fact that you guys can kind of really help with the creative side of things, which may be a challenge when you're trying to think of how do we use a spice to help engage our employees or engage our clients, or to get more referrals or engagement at a trade show and things like that. I think what you guys are doing is awesome, and wanted our clients to see it today for sure. And I think you did a great job.
Great. Thank you kindly.
Yeah, no, it's great. I agree with everything Brett said. So I won't add to it. I think it's great. Brian, thank you again for your time. I appreciate everybody who's taken the time to join us today. Appreciate your time as well. We'll be following up to see if there are concepts that we can work on. And like I said, be on the lookout. This is our last partner series for 2023. It's been a great year. We've learned a lot. Hopefully it's been valuable for those who've taken the time to join us, virtually and at our live events. And we're excited about kind of the lineup we put together for 24. So, and it sounds like Brian might actually be joining us in person. You might get to meet him in person in April in Louisville. So,
Boy, what a treat! What a treat that would be.
that's right.
I'll bring lots of spice for everybody. Yeah,
Literally and figuratively.
you bet. You bet.
But yeah, thank you everyone again, and have a great day, and we'll be following up with you soon.
All right. Thank you.